give or take, it works out at about...
That's what you call the clutch player. The clutch player.
The attention span of a human is 8 seconds. A goldfish is 9.
Gentlemen, brings us...
The Land League was set up. The Land League was set up
for anybody else.
Land League was set up around 1871.
We deeply regret to announce the death of the former President of Ireland, Éamon de Valera. At Mr. de Valera's bedside when he died just before noon in Linden Nursing Home, Blackrock, County Dublin, were all the members of his family, one of whom said,
He did a lot of good and a lot of harm.
The long shadow of De Valera obviously, cast a long shadow over the whole history of Ireland.
We'll help you with Irish history if you get a big tattoo upon your back of Éamon de Valera.
There had been a suggestion that De Valera during the 1916 Rising was hyperactive.
What did Éamon de Valera actually do during the Rising? Do you ever do loads of speed? Yes. That's kind of like what he did during the Rising.
Upon his release from jail a year later, De Valera was exalted to hero status.
And now there's a little caveat here. Most of you probably know I'm not a massive De Valera supporter.
And I suppose I couldn't have been more favourable to De Valera relative to neutrality. And I couldn't be more critical of De Valera relative to the treaty.
Ronan Fanning remarked that De Valera was responsible for the dimensions of the war, and described his conduct in 1921-22 as petulant, inflammatory, ill-judged and profoundly undemocratic.
In fairness, there would have been a civil war with or without De Valera.
This evening's lecture will explore the intriguing question of how the events of 1916 have been commemorated over the last 100 years. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce our speaker.
Veteran trash rockers, Rocky De Valera and the Gravediggers!
Hey, you're joking! Here's Rocky himself, here he is!
Welcome!
Yo, I'm Dev, I'm the number one. I'm the fundamentalist Top Gun. The Mick with the microphone. Get this, listen as the Grail Gores glisten in the sun and the shadow of a gunman moves to the crew.
That's Alan Rickman. He was in Robin Hood, not De Valera.
This is De Valera dressed in his robes as Chancellor of the NUI.
Can we have chips now?
I know De Valera.
Do you, personally?
Yeah. No, but I know who.
My uncle borrowed a lawnmower off.
De Valera was very preoccupied in the 1960s with how history would remember him, with what history's verdict would be on him as well.
And I'm sure De Valera was a very, there was probably a strong element of paranoia to his personality,
Éamon de Valera undoubtedly stands as one of the most influential and controversial figures in Irish history. In a public career spanning over 5 decades, he dominated Irish politics, and the constitution he introduced in 1937 continues to shape modern Ireland. While he was lionised as a hero and living personification of the nation during his lifetime, at least by those who didn't hold him responsible for the Civil War, in his final years, what became known as De Valera's Ireland would be marred by economic stagnation, high rates of immigration, and the overbearing rule of the Catholic Church. 50 years on from his death, I look back on De Valera's life, his legacy, and the controversial decisions he took during his career, starting with the economic war. This is Éamon de Valera, the man that was Ireland.